This question showed up in quiz number 3. It says that a 25,000 seat amphitheater will sell tickets at $50 and $80 for a Green Day concert. We want X and Y, the number of tickets that will sell for $50 and $80 respectively, assuming that the show will sell out. The first part is going to ask us to write a revenue equation from selling $50 and $80 tickets. However, they want this to be in function notation. Oops, got the answer popping up there. But function notation, R equals f of x. So the very first thing that I know is that the revenue would be the sum of the $80 tickets and $50 tickets. And I know that if I was going to write this as 50x plus 80y, that I wouldn't be able to write it in function notation because there are two variables. So if I want to write this in two variables, instead of two variables and one variable to get in function notation, I need to think about it in a different way. One of the ways to think about it is to think about how much money you would make if you sold all of your tickets for $80 and then subtract off the amount that you would lose for selling some of them for $50. So, for example, if you sold all 25,000 tickets for $80, that would give you a total revenue of, I need a calculator real fast to figure out what I get. So let me open that calculator. It's like huge, but if I do 25, I don't know how to make this smaller, 25,000 times 80, I get 2 million. So if I sell all of the tickets, let me make sure I have the right number of zeros here. If I sell all of the tickets for $80, I would bring in 2 million. Now, that's not going to happen because some of them need to be sold for $50. For each ticket that you sell for $50, you are losing $30 from your 2 million, right? Because 80 minus 50 is 30. So there's a loss of $30 for each ticket that sells for $50. Oops. Okay. So my function now can be my revenue, or f of x function can be my profit. My revenue is going to be 2 million minus 30 times x, where x is the number of tickets that sell for $50. Okay, does that make a little bit of sense? Because if I was to sell 0 tickets for $50, if x was 0, then that means all of them would be sold for 80, so I get exactly 2 million. If I sell 1 ticket for $30, then I would subtract off 30 from this to say that 1 ticket was $30 cheaper than the rest of the tickets. Okay, so that's where this function comes in right here. It needs to be written in function notation, so instead of being able to use two different variables, x and y, and solving a system of two variables, this would be a function notation way of setting this one up. Now, if I check back over, this one has already been graded, so you can see the answer to that should match my 2 million 30x minus 30x. And then what's the slope? Well, the slope is the coefficient of x, so the negative 30. What does it mean? It means that the revenue is going to decrease by $30 for each ticket sold at $50. Let's read this correct answer. The slope means that the change in revenue, the number of tickets at $50 increases by 1. Yes, okay, so for each additional $50 ticket, the revenue decreases by $30. And then the remaining questions here are just going to ask you to plug certain values in. So part C is going to ask you to plug 14,000 in for x, simplify, and interpret what it means. It means if you sell 14,000 tickets at $50, then the revenue would be 580,000. So this sentence isn't very complete, but it tells me that 14,000 sold at $50. The others, which would be 25,000 minus 14,000, were sold at 80. Last, find out when the total production cost is 830. How many each ticket must be sold to make a profit? Okay, so before I calculate this, profit I know is the difference of revenue and cost. So if I wanted to find revenue, what I should have to do here would be to add these two together and then solve. So let's see if we can work this one out and get the answer and see if we can match with part D. So their profit is $60,000. So I'm going to write that down. Profit is $600,000, I think. Let me look back. Yep, $600,000, and cost is $830,000. And I know that profit is supposed to be revenue minus cost. So if I add cost to both sides, I'm going to be able to get revenue. Profit plus cost should be equal to revenue. So the revenue here is going to be equal to, we need to add 600,000 to 830,000, which would give us 1,430,000. Okay, so if I set that equal to the equation, I already had my equation for revenue up here. If I set 1,430,000 equal to my equation, I should be able to solve. So we're going to subtract 2 million from both sides. So I need to take 1 million. Let me grab my calculator if I still have it open. Looks like I closed it, so I'll open it again. Oh, there. It's nice and small this time. I need to take 1,430,000 minus 2 million gives me negative 570,000 equals my negative 30x, and then I would divide both sides by negative 30 to get x. I divide by negative 30, I get 19,000. Okay, so this would mean, let's go back to my correct answer and scroll down. I mean, I sell $19,000 tickets at $50, and to get the rest of the answer, I know that there were already 25,000 tickets. So if I take 25,000 and I subtract my 19,000, that is going to give me the number of tickets I sell at $80, which is 25,000 minus 19,000 is 6,000. So my final answer on this type of question would be, for part D anyway, that they need to sell, they need to sell 19,000 tickets at $50 and 6,000 tickets at $80. You can check back over to get the correct answer. Perfect. Okay. So your question should be similar to this if you take the quiz again, but that is the reason that I was not able to use the original type that we used before with two variables. This needed to be in function notation, so you need to think about it in a different way in order to get the correct function with one variable.